The Pakistani MPs are currently in plenary session. The objective is to discuss a possible response to New Delhi's decision, a parliamentary meeting following India's revocation of the constitutional autonomy of the Kashmir side controlled by India but claimed by Pakistan. The deforestation of the Brazilian Amazon has increased by 67% in the first 7 months of the year, according to the official agency of the National Space Research Institute, the same agency that President Bolsonaro blames for spreading false information and from which he just fired the director. The 2019 season just started that the Gabonese Panther Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang makes headlines after the friendly and pre-season matches against the FC Barcelona and Real Madrid. The Gabonese international striker, despite the defeats conceded during these encounters, managed to score. That's all for our top stories today. Stay tuned for more details in this newscast. The Pakistani parliamentarians began a joint session to discuss a possible response to New Delhi's decision, a decision from India that could get things out of control.
The entire region, especially the people of Kashmir and the people of Pakistan, have been shocked by what the Indian regime under Prime Minister Modi has done, which has renounced the UN resolutions, which has annexed Jammu and Kashmir, and which has partitioned Kashmir on religious lines, because Ladakh is Buddhist majority and Jammu and Kashmir is Muslim majority.
Members of parliament from Pakistan have ruled the Indian government's decision against the law in a highly disputed region with Pakistan for more than 70 years.
Kashmir is now officially invaded by India. It is an illegal step. It is unconstitutional. Article 370 was a part of basic structure of the Indian constitution and was tied with the Kashmiri dispute, which is an international dispute. So we totally reject it, we condemn it.
This should exacerbate the bloody rebellion in Indian-controlled Kashmir, which has claimed the lives of more than 70,000 people, mostly civilians, since 1989. It should also reinforce animosity with Pakistan, which, like India, has nuclear weapons. The two neighbors have already fought two wars for this mountainous territory, which is mostly populated by Muslims. The far-right president has dismissed the director of the Brazilian National Space Research Institute, the public body responsible for measuring deforestation in the Amazon, accused by the government of publishing figures lie and playing right into the hands of the NGOs. But the same agency has just released data showing that the situation worsened in July. Deforestation has more than tripled since July 2018. 2,254 square kilometers area were deforested in the country last month, compared to 596.6 square kilometers in July 2018, an increase of 278% over 1 year and over 7 months. That is to say, since the beginning of Bolsonaro government, it would have increased by 67%. According to Jair Bolsonaro, these alarming data do not correspond to reality and are manipulated in order to harm Brazil. I am accused of being the chainsaw captain, said Jair Bolsonaro, who canceled a meeting at the end of last month with Jean-Yves Le Drian, the French Minister of Foreign Affairs, because he had spoken with the Brazilian NGOs that were deemed subversive. Coming from all over the world, waves of Muslim worshippers dressed in white flocked to this city in the west of the ultra-conservative kingdom to complete 5 days during rites almost unchanged since the time of the founder of Islam.
You can see here people from all nations of the world, and all languages, all colors you find here. There is no difference. Unity is there, harmony is there. There is no quarrel, no any difference. All have come on for one goal, that is Hajj. This is unity of Islam. It has been.
On Tuesday, more than 1.8 million foreign pilgrims were counted by the authorities as having a right for the Hajj, one of the 5 pillars of Islam that every believer is supposed to accomplish at least once in their lifetime if they can afford it. Their total number, including those living in Saudi Arabia, is expected to exceed 2.5 million according to the local press.
If you come here, you will benefit a lot, praying with your brother Muslims, praying with your white brothers, because Islam will unite all of us, whether black, whether white, we are all together. So that's why I'm very happy, I'm enjoying.
The Hajj begins this year in a context of high tensions between Washington and Tehran, exacerbated by attacks on oil tankers. A downed drone and tankers boarded in the Gulf region. According to the Iranian agency Tasnim, some 88,550 Iranians are participating in the Hajj this year, despite the absence of diplomatic relations between Riyadh and Tehran. The 2019 season of the English Championship at the Premier League is yet to start, and the Gabonese international forward, undisputed and indisputable key player in the Arsenal team, the striker of the Gunners, has still shone brightly during the friendly and pre-season matches against Barcelona and the Real Madrid. The Gabonese international footballer, despite the defeat conceded during these encounters, impressed with a great performance in the game. The Arsenal player Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang scored the first goal of the match from a splendid right shot. Before the media, the striker could not leave without saluting the great work of his Arsenal teammate Mesut Ozil, author of the decisive pass on the action that led to the opening of the score in the match against Barcelona. "Let's say that Mesut Ozil makes passes from another world," commented the Gabonese striker as he shares the video of his goal on social networks. His strike also came from a distant galaxy in view of Neto's lack of efficiency, clearly a few light years away from the ball on this very action. The Pakistani MPs are currently in plenary session. The objective is to discuss a possible response to New Delhi's decision, a parliamentary meeting following India's revocation of the constitutional autonomy of the Kashmir side controlled by India but claimed by Pakistan. The deforestation of the Brazilian Amazon has increased by 67% in the first 7 months of the year, according to the official agency of the National Space Research Institute, the same agency that President Bolsonaro blames for spreading false information and from which he just fired the director. The 2019 season just started that the Gabonese Panther Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang makes headlines after the friendly and pre-season matches against the FC Barcelona and Real Madrid. The Gabonese international striker, despite the defeats conceded during these encounters, managed to score. That's the end of our newscast of the day, but keep watching Gabon 24 for further news.